We're all awaiting Purim to come on Sunday, but we know that when Purim does come like that, the Taanis Esther is not the day before, obviously, because it can't be on Shabbos. So instead it gets pushed back to the Thursday beforehand. Now, why do we actually fast on Taanis Esther? The reason is, according to the Shulchan Aruch, because Klal Yisrael was going into a milchama, they were about to fight a war. And whenever Klal Yisrael was about to fight a war, they would always fast. Now, if you were to look at it as a natural means of fighting, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you have your entire army fast? Probably the best preparation for a war would be to give them a nice hearty meal, something that will hold them over, maybe something that will energize them, something that will keep them in the battlefield for as long as possible. They won't have to take food with them. But just the opposite. We find every time Klal Yisrael went out to war, from the first time when Moshe Rabbeinu took them out and they fought with Amalek, throughout history, Klal Yisrael always first fasted and then went out to war, which is obviously exactly the opposite of what you would think. And the reason is because every milchama, every war that Klal Yisrael goes to, has nothing to do with natural means. It's one of the times that Hashem makes it obvious, and there's Yad Hashem and Eile Berecha, Eile Basus, and people will come with whatever they'll come with, their chariots, their tanks, their weaponry. Klal Yisrael, when they fight with the Shem Hashem. They fight because they're serving Hashem and they have a connection to Hashem. And that's why we find that when Klal Yisrael would be counted to be able to be determined who would be allowed to stay and go to the army, there were very specific requirements. And the main requirement is that a person couldn't have sinned. If he had any sins, any averos that he was accountable for, go back home. And so obviously, how many people do you think actually ended up going to war? It would only be the Tzadikei Hadar, the Gedolim, the greatest people of the generation, the biggest Talmidei Chacham. They would be the ones that would go out there as old men with long white beards, and it's true. And they would go out and they would win.